Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton 2, Bournemouth 0. Everton getting much deserved 3 points. Well, I'll say much deserved. Much needed. Much needed. Baz is feeling slightly under the weather. So at any time he just
coughs or
keels over.
Sleeps.
Just leave him to it. It even kept you away from the game, didn't it?
Never missed a game. Lay on my couch and realise why I never ever listen to pundits.
But we did some Man United anyway.
Yeah, didn't even mention. The minute the game finished, they didn't mention Everton again. And before it started, they didn't mention Everton. So
again, another reason why you should watch Toffee TV and subscribe to Patreon and you get all the insight you need. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats in one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. So Bournemouth at home. As we said, these games are always close affairs. They're always nip and tuck, and we made a couple of changes. Left Lookman in the side from the cup game, brought Coleman back at right back. Richarlison played up front.
Took Mina out.
Obviously Mina went out. Keane came back into the side. Gomez back into the middle of the park. So quite strong team. Obviously, what you'd imagine. A bit. Were you surprised by any changes? Coleman possibly coming in.
Maybe Coleman, but even Mina, I thought it'd be Keane and Mina, to be honest. But you can kind of understand why he's put Seamus back in for the experience. I know depends what he wants to do with Jonjo. If he doesn't think Jonjo's done enough in those 2 games, then he's not going to stay in, is he? I thought he'd done alright against Leicester for an hour, and I thought he'd done okay last week. Do
you think that might be a case of, I know it was Jonjo and Lookman last week, but do you think it might be a case of, back to Premier League, you've got a player who's only making his second Premier League start of the season, Lookman, so having that little bit of experience behind them, just to keep things ticking over, or
maybe. But I think he's better on the left anyway than he is on the right, because I think that's dictated by who is behind him. I think even yesterday when he went out to the left, he looked a lot better because Dean was flying past him, whereas on the right Coleman doesn't do that anymore.
I just don't think
tends to come inside.
I just don't think Coleman can do that job anymore. And I know we've mentioned this a few times.
That's the way it is.
And people are critical of it. Some people might have been critical of us for it. But I mentioned yesterday on my video about, I think Kevin Kilban had mentioned in a podcast about Seamus Coleman. Number one, again, I didn't hear it, but someone mentioned in the comments that they'd listened to it, and again this yarn getting spun that somehow Evertonians are having a go at Seamus Coleman, which is just it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. Evertonians are allowed an opinion about a player. I've heard nobody say anything bad about Seamus Coleman. Alright, you get the odd dickhead saying maybe something on Twitter, or the tone of the way they criticise him, but I think most Evertonians just say, listen, the lad missed a year of his career, and you watch him now and you can tell that he's not the same player and doesn't quite have the confidence of the same player. And as Evertonians, you have to look at that and say, well, if that's the case, we have to start preparing ourselves. And that's all I've heard Blues say, and to spin this yarn that somehow Blues are, he's been at you for, I think you said something last week about someone who's writing for Joe. Obviously Joe's an Irish publication. They were saying, it's a disgrace, been brilliant for 10 years at Everton. We know he's been brilliant for 10 years at Everton, but that doesn't mean that you can let him not have a conversation about his form or what comes next.
He kind of gave himself away though, didn't he? Because he then went to the Anfield for back to him up to say, imagine if your fans were like that, or if Reds were like that or something.
Maybe it's the length of the grass at Goodison.
I think it might be. Or maybe it's just not enough death threats when he hasn't played well. Because, that's what... If he was going to the Anfield Wrap and Liverpool fans, that's kind of what their social media do, don't they, when a player doesn't have a good game. The thing with James Coleman is, and Kilban had said this, and I've heard other people say it about many different footballers, is, and at any level of football you've played, once you hit a certain age, you're not the same player, because physically you can't be the same player. When you've had an injury, a bad injury, of course that's going to shorten that length of time. I haven't heard anyone saying get rid of him, he's awful, because he's not awful, but he's not the same player. Now, what do? You just not put up with, but you just accept and go, well, alright, he's not the same player, it doesn't matter, so we'll just keep him as he is, and we'll lose a bit of what we need to go higher. So if we want to do that, to get Jags back in as well, because Jags is a good defender.
And Bainesy.
And Baines, get Baines in, because he's, I love Leighton, absolutely love Leighton Baines, but on no earth or universe or galaxy do I think he should be getting in over Luca Dean at the moment, because he shouldn't be. So just because, you're looking at Seamus and going, maybe we need to look at this a little bit differently, maybe you need someone different in front of him, or maybe we need someone different at right back. That's the way, that's football. Football moves on. It happened with Tim Howard, who was good for a number of years, then went off it. Sylvain Distin was good and then went off it. Gareth Barry was brilliant, but then went off it. Different things, shortened careers.
And I seen a little moment yesterday that I thought sort of showed Seamus. I think it was in the second half, and Seamus got the ball on the right, and their winger came to close him down, and he tried to take him on the outside, and then suddenly realised he couldn't do it, and then he tried to turn, and in turning nearly lost the ball. He didn't lose the ball, but I think it was that split second of, I can beat you because that's what I've always done. And I think that's the change that Seamus Coleman needs to make as a player, is that when he gets that ball, he has to remember that he mightn't be able to beat that player anymore.
But the problem is, though, what you've just said, though, it's not even necessarily mechanically. He might still be able to beat them mechanically. In a foot race, it's there. It's now and then. It's stopping and going, actually, can I beat you? He never, ever, ever hesitated. Years ago, he just knocked that and go. And if he lost it, he'd leave one on the fella over it, because he knew that at times he would get beyond him. Yesterday, certainly the first half an hour, I looked at Nathaniel Klein and thought, that's what we need.
He was brilliant yesterday. He had a really good game.
I've seen some Liverpool fans saying that shows you why we play a teenager instead of him.
I thought he was brilliant yesterday.
He was, for about an hour, he was good, and then he faded.
Good tellers.
He hasn't played, has he?
No.
Last time, funnily enough, last time he played was for Liverpool, and he beat Arsenal 5-1. But what I meant was his ability to just bomb down the line, and it's not necessarily...
No hesitation.
That's it. It's not necessarily saying he's better than Seamus Coleman, but there's no thing in his head. There's no thing of, I can't get past this lad, or do I or don't I think that's what's causing Seamus more problems really than anything else, is his indecisiveness.
I mean, we started the game pretty poorly. I mean, really, really poorly. We couldn't get out of our own half. We kept on losing the ball. There was no tempo to our play. It was just sloppy all round. It was just, I was looking out for the first 20 minutes, and listen, they kept the ball. They were winning the ball back really well, high up the pitch. And David Brooks was a real problem. He looks a real talented player. It reminds me of Tim Cahill in a way. He's also got a little bit of a swagger about him as well. When he won the foul off Bernard, when he sucked him in with that lovely little, he looked over to the glass and get this little smile, and I thought, I like that. I've got no problem with that. I like someone who knows.
I had a problem with him diving in the box.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen it again. I think we might have just lucky there. Another day.
Well, it was a foul first. He grabs Garner shit.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the ref later.
When you've got 3 reds in the studio, all saying it was a foul, free kick to Everton, and you know that there's no way on earth it wasn't anything but that. But carry on.
He played well.
He's
a good player. Very good.
He faded like, didn't he?
Yeah, he faded as well.
The first half an hour we couldn't live with him.
You couldn't live with him. And really, he should have scored.
Well, there was spotlight on it. You looked at that first half an hour and you went, that's what we haven't got. We haven't got a number 10. Because I was looking at Sigurdsson, who for the first half was horrendous, and I mean horrendous. I think he touched the ball 6 times. He was dreadful.
But they don't
but he doesn't run around like it.
But he played like a split striker, didn't he? And looked at him every time they went forward, he went 4-4-2, and every time they were going back, he went into midfield. We started doing that second half, and I think that's what changed the game for me, which we'll come on to. That's what changed the game, I think, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I just thought that he was
excellent.
He was excellent.
Him and Fraser were
their aggression, their aggression kept us on the back foot. But again, though, it exposed for me the system that we play, and how when it doesn't work, it just doesn't work, and how isolated people, like your centre forward is. With Richarlison, couldn't get him into the game because he's not that kind of centre forward. He always had his back to the goal as well, which was basically happening the whole game. And that for me exposed that when this system, when players are not confident and when they're not moving the ball fast, how poorly this system works, because then your centre forward is isolated, then your wingers feel like they're not taking part in the forward play, and they're picking the ball up in their own half, and they really capitalised that and put us on the back foot, and we were really lucky to get through that half an hour.
We most definitely were. I'll point to Gylfi Sigurdsson as the problem in this formation. I've said it when he came that he's not a number 10. People try to tell me differently, but he's not a number 10 in terms of if you want to play this kind of system, because he ain't mobile enough. And David Brooks highlighted that yesterday. When we played Burnley away, which has been our best performance for a while, he was deeper, Sigurdsson. Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, but our two wingers, Walcott and Bernard, that day were tight to the forward, so they were involved in the game all the time. We had two midfield players who could pass the ball and move the ball around. In that situation, when you've got a team like Bournemouth who were pressing and getting around the pitch quite quickly, Gylfi slows it down a lot in that number 10 position, because we said it last week, he receives the ball with his back to goal too much, so he's almost like the centre. In fact, you could almost flip him and Richarlison because Richarlison wants to go that way, where Gylfi's receiving everything and turning. I don't think he can pick. But the difference in the second half was he got himself alongside Richarlison, and then other moments he dropped deep alongside Gomez, so the pitch opened up for him. Whereas in the first half he was just stuck in the middle and he was too slow for the.
But don't you think that's the system as well, though? The system.
Yeah, but if you've got a lad in there who's got mobility.
Yeah, but what I mean is though is that in the first half I didn't think he was playing anywhere. He was just getting stuck.
Just anonymous.
Just nowhere. And you're right. The amount of time Garner picks up the ball, he's picking up the ball and not doing anything with it because he hasn't got that ability, and that's fine. And that's where you look at it and say Sigurdsson should be playing deeper. But then the second half showed that
when he
gets it right and they move him. So that's what I'm saying. Is he actually playing as a number 10? Because
I don't know.
Second half he played like a number 10 because he played like a split striker second half.
Everybody picked it up second. The problem you had in the first half was Garner and Gomez give the ball away more than anybody. Carragher pointed out.
I agree.
The two of them. Gomez was playing passes that weren't even on, hitting and putting us under pressure, knocking balls blindly back without looking. He was really poor for me yesterday. Got better second half, him and Garner the pair. Well, all of us got better.
But that's what I'm saying. What the shape, I don't think complimented anyone first half because it just.
And don't forget the big thing as well. Whether people like it or not, whether we like it or not, is confidence. You could tell there wasn't a grain of confidence in our play yesterday. There was nowhere. You look at them and go, why are you so fragile? I know we haven't been playing well, but good teams come through that. And
I thought once we got through that period, I think a couple of things. I think we started to go. I think second half especially, I think we got our foothold into the game towards the end of the first half. We started making a few more chances. I think the crossover of Lookman and Bernard helped. But what helped was actually not them playing out wide as such, but the times when he come through the middle. And when they almost crossed over and started getting the ball, they started creating more.
You move people around them.
The one I think that illustrated it most was when Lookman came off the left, played the 1-2 with Richarlison, and then got it wide to Coleman.
Sure.
And Seamus maybe old Seamus would have had a smash at that. But his cross wasn't the worst cross in the world.
I thought he'd done everything he could. There was a good ball, and if it cleared the first man, Bernard was in the middle, he might have got.
But then even that though, even if it had been a good ball, there's no one in the box.
Bernard's there,
yeah,
but
it's only Bernard.
There's one person, and that was we had the other one where towards the end of the first half where it came in. Might have been Bernard. He put
from the left, and he whipped right through.
And there was two, wasn't it? Luckman almost got on one at the far post, and then Luckman put one on a Bernard almost. So we had our moments, but I mean the first half an hour, credit to Bournemouth because they closed us down, broke quickly, and were in our faces, and we make a. Zuma makes it. Who I thought I've seen people saying he was outstanding. I think your mind when you're at the match doesn't follow what's actually going on because the first half he was dreadful.
Oh, we were all terrible.
Even Carragher was saying he's Keane's the one keeping him in the game here because he was all up. The one day at the post, it was exactly the same as Spurs. Zuma deals with it immediately.
Oh, I didn't.
Right, if he deals with that immediately, there's no danger. But he doesn't. He tries to wrestle Joshua King, and King's too strong for him. He just shoves him off. The crowd screaming for a foul, and it was never a foul.
You're right. I mean, he did have hold of Zuma's shirt, but
he had hold of him.
That's the same with everything. You've got to deal with that straight away. You've got to out-muscle him and just...
There's an opportunity for him just to kick it out, and he doesn't. He hesitates, and then he loses the battle. It's the same. If you look back, I watched the thingy before, because I was thinking, is that the same? It was the Sun goal. I know Pickford runs out, but there's a moment where Zuma can just put it into the paddock and go, and he doesn't. He hesitates, and then two run in, and it was the same yesterday. I mean, Brooks made a brilliant run. It was a great ball. Thought he was offside at first, but he wasn't. It was a brilliant run, and he, as he knocks it past Pickford, you're thinking it's in, aren't you? And luckily for us, and maybe that was the difference yesterday. We had a little bit of the rubber degree.
And even it's the post and doesn't fall.
No, for players. But we'd already had one with it was fortuitous the way it got through, but the one where Joshua King stabbed it and it almost went under Pickford. But I think after that we kind of crowd got. I think Anthony Taylor helped the crowd.
Yeah. Well, second half we the referee had been pouring. Second half we came out, and I think two things. I think the conditions started to. It wasn't hilarious, but you wouldn't have seen this. But when the rain started coming down towards the end of the first half, it was blowing into the Bullens, so everybody in the paddock had to basically evacuate.
I wouldn't see that anyway.
No.
From where I sit,
but everyone had to evacuate out of those seats because everyone was just getting soaked, so everyone, because it was just because that's so open, isn't it? So all those people were running to the back, hiding. So that weather was pouring down, and then obviously you mentioned
at the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, we just did the bar, but that weather just started coming down, and I think with that and with a little change at half time, I think it gave us more of a foot.
He gave them a kicking.
Well, he every right to, because we were so lethargic. Get on muscle, and what made it even worse for me was we were playing a team. We were on very much a similar run to ourselves, and we were allowing them to boss us.
Lost 5 away games on the spin.
Exactly. I just thought we allowed. But
sometimes, though, I think sometimes when you're on a run like that as the away team, you've got nothing to lose. You're not the one under pressure. You would be saying, Eddie Howe would have been saying to them, the natives are restless, blood. You can keep this crowd quiet for 15 minutes. The way things are going, you'll get in the back. It was weird. A commentary team that when I was in Mutiny, that the commentator quite obviously wanted Bournemouth to win, and the co-commentator quite obviously wanted Everton to win. Carragher sometimes the old guard drops, and it was because he was like, what they've got at them. Sure, he said we've at one stage.
I'm sure he said we about something. Someone's pointed it out.
He did. He said we, and then he was like, But when Carragher was talking, I was thinking if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be fucking living there, because he was like, need to get the ball down, and we just got to turn the screw. And you're thinking, he's supposed to be impartial, mate. And I know he's we know what he is, but no, it was one of them in the first. It was a terrible game again of football. Both teams looked better than us in the first half an hour. Definitely, both teams you could tell weren't fully confident. But Everton, I think the best thing was we got in 0-0, And then obviously the reaction, you could tell within a minute of the second half, they'd upped it. There was more energy. The crowd were feeding off the referee, and that's when Goodison's at its best, is when there's either a naughty tackle or the referee's an absolute...
Yeah, he was terrible. He was horrendous. Some of his decisions were just... And I'm glad that they've been picked up as well by people, and I'm glad Silva said something about it as well, because they were horrendous. He was absolutely horrendous. How in a game could you end up booking 5 Everton players and none of their players?
The lad in midfield, I'm going to forget his name again, the black kid in midfield alongside Gosling, Senior, is it, or whoever, he must have done about 18 fouls. He smashed Gomez in the face and Gomez got booked by shove. It was just that you could see it, and they were going, no booking there. And there's one on Luckman where Fingy does him first, Gosling does him on the Achilles, and then Cook just smashes him. The pair of them, he gives you a free kick, need to get booked, and Garner got booked for winning the ball, literally winning the ball.
Yeah, he won the ball outside the box.
It was just no, he didn't get booked. He got booked on the halfway, and then Gomez, they both got booked. When Garner won the ball, it was just ridiculous, like, and he was poor. I mean, mentioned the Brooks one before, that was actually a good decision. It's probably the only decision he made that was good, because Brooks he's looking to go down, the kid, and he's got hold of Garner, he drags him down. Garner puts his foot through his legs, he can actually catch him, and he just throws himself forward. The referee seeing it, and like I said, Souness and Redknapp, I think, and Carragher, and Robbie, the other cop right here, Robbie Keane, was like, nah, it wasn't a penalty. Like, you wondering why he went down, because he seemed to be away from him, but I thought Gomez should have been sent off, there's no question about it. 3 times after he'd been booked. The one when he hits the fella in the face, I mean, I'd be amazed if he doesn't get done anyway. In the box.
I thought that was not on that.
No, but he's raised his arm.
No, I know, but I think that with that one, no, I think that is that the lad hitting his arm, or is that his arm hitting his head? No, but
when you watch him, mate, he throws him. But he could have been sent off 3 times. He does cook after the ball, and normally you see referees, they can't wait.
The one second half where he dribbles out and then has a chance to put his foot through it and then lets him have it, and then the one he catches him. I couldn't understand. I would have took him off for myself, because I just thought he was having one of those games where he was in a mood.
He was getting frustrated because he was getting kicked and the referee wasn't protecting him, and he was given. What was the problem was when they'd do something, he'd let play go on. The minute we'd done exactly the same, he was blown up, and you could see our players getting frustrated with it, and Gomez in particular, because Gosling kept standing on his foot and the other fella was pumping, and it was horrible. You know, fair play to that. You rough teams up, and that's what they did. But what was weird, second half, was for such a good football inside, how many times they just hoofed the ball. It was bizarre. I think it was a total change in the way they played. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I
was them, I had to just carried on playing.
And it might have had something to do with the conditions, though. I mean, it was bad.
But we weren't hoofing it.
I thought we started going a little bit longer second half.
It was even picked up by the commentary team. It was like, why have they changed so much? Because we just kept the ball down. It was only the last... When the out time they got the ball edge of our box and tried little through balls, that's when he looked dangerous.
But I thought that's one of the reasons we got back into the game or started playing better was because we were going a little bit more direct, and the amount of balls that were going up to Richarlison, and obviously Richarlison had been told, he must have been told second half, stop making life easy for Cook, because second half I thought was a big difference where Cook first half, anything in the air he dealt with it, but second half Richarlison had nothing else in his mind but to get in his face.
I know, but
I thought that worked.
Got a jump.
But I thought that worked massively. He started jumping and not. All right, maybe he needs a little bit more self-belief.
There's got to be.
But he stopped Cook getting clean headers, and because Gylfi had obviously been told again, pushed right up. Gylfi started to win the second ball. So rather than and also every time Aki touched the ball, it goes 5 yards. He's got a terrible first touch, and again we kept on jumping on that as well. And I just thought that helped us get back in the game as well. The ref, people having a go at the ref helped, but that as well, because then it looked like
we played 10 yards further.
We looked like we were having a go, and we were getting the ball higher up, and where we'd been losing the ball in midfield, we were circumventing that and getting higher up the pitch. Lookman he was good yesterday. Yeah. I think for me now, I want to see him continue in this side for the rest of the season. And I think,
but he can only stay in with performances.
But I don't necessarily agree with that though, because I really do think that where we are in the league means that, I'm not saying we indulge him, but I just think, what's the alternative? Okay, there is the alternative of Bernard. He's not though. For me, yeah, but he's had half of a season, Baz, and he's done nothing with it. So I think now Lookman has to be given the other half of the season, and there will be times, of course, there will be times where Lookman will go out for Theo. But I think that role has to be reversed now.
Maybe. Mate, listen, you heard Marco Silva's comments. Marco Silva loves him. You see the ability, he loves him. Lookman, playing like he did yesterday, will be a starter, because he put, although he played in patches yesterday, you get that from your wings. Bernard did. Bernard did. But what Lookman showed me yesterday was he's up for the fight now. Where I think in the first bit of the season, he wasn't. He was sulking a little. Well, he was terrible, let's be honest. And then he's got better and better. And then it was flashes. He was coming off the bench and it was a little cameo of ability. And then you get a start like against Newcastle, wasn't it? And he nearly did anything. Well, there you go. So, but he then come on at City, and he was excellent at Manchester City in that little half an hour, and little bits and pieces he started getting on more and more, and he's putting it together now. He played quite well against Lincoln in patches, and he did yesterday. His patches got bigger yesterday. He got more involved in the defensive side of the game. I think the thing with Lookman is, and it's the only thing question mark over him for me, is where is his best position, because he's not it doesn't really matter as such, because we haven't got a striker who wants balls into the box anyway, but he's not really a winger, because he doesn't really go to the line up and cross things. He's more of he's a link player. He's number 10, because he can go both ways, he can shoot with both feet, he's mobile. So, you know, maybe Gylfi might be looking over his shoulder a little bit, but at the moment the way into the team is quite obviously Theo.
But I think that when he plays though, and this is the difference, is that when he plays, he can move from the right to the left, and then, you know, even spend and that's why it works.
Being able to switch.
So with having that little bit of room in the middle of the park.
Doesn't, does it?
No, Theo sticks to the right, and that's his game. And I think that's where that versatility works, is that they can switch it over and give the opposition something else to think about. But I do think he can play that number 10 role, like a real split striker role. And for me, I don't think for most of the teams it wouldn't be Gylfi Sigurdsson missing out, because for me, I think Gylfi Sigurdsson's is still the best footballer we've got in the team for what he does. I just think he needs to play deeper. 3 points this week. You can enjoy your week now.
Yeah,
no stress this week.
First home win since November.
No. Aye.
But
2 wins and 2 wins out of 3 in 2019.
Should have been 3, but
keep that ratio up and that'll
be alright.
Yeah, there you have it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are you happy with the win? I mean, we haven't really give the ref enough grief, really, but you know, he helped the atmosphere, I suppose, at the ground.
He was horrendous.
He was horrendous.
For both teams,
absolutely
dreadful, but
horrendous.
More so for us.
But we'll leave it there. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the bell for alerts and join us on Patreon, and also join us on Facebook as well. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, give us a little like on there as well. We'd appreciate that as well. Share the love. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.